Hello, welcome to day 15 of NaPoWriMo 2021. 30 poems, 30 days. If you're playing along, you have made it to the halfway point. So, congratulations, wherever you are in time and space. Welcome to this prompt. I am going to just get into it and share a poem here by Diane Suess called Let's Meet Somewhere Outside Time and Space. Between the Song of Solomon and Isaiah, where someone pressed a trillium in the ice cream freezer at the State Line Dairy, where the black cherry was and is no more, in the coffee can full of blue marbles, under the jewelry box ballerina's skirts, in her labial folds, between the skin and the nylon stocking of the window peeker, in the butterfly display case, in a cell of an abandoned prison or beehive, in the feed trough of the cemetery horses, at the roots of the wind's hair, in 3 feet of ash, where spillage enters the river, where fake fingernail meets real, in the deserted velvet factory and tuberculosis sanitarium, in the forest of forsaken hair tonics, between the M and the E, in the word Amen, in the drawer where the hammer used to be, on the head of the unpounded nail, where the possible anoints the forehead of the impossible, across an afterbirth sea, in the vitreous fluid at the eye of the storm, in a country without leaders, a red house with a leaky roof and no resale value, on a bed of cast-off wedding gowns and pine needles, beyond the jurisdiction of the sentence, a secret place bordered by lilacs. All right, that is another trip. So, feeling into the surrealist poetry right now. Going to continue that from yesterday. Hope you are having fun with it. And if you didn't see the video from yesterday, I've got another great poem from Gerald Stern. But let's go ahead and get into it. Before we write, here's your writing mantra. So just meeting yourself where you are today, thinking to yourself as you listen to these words, I am here and present with my experiences. I am grounded and open. I have unlimited access to the infinite flow of creativity and images always around me. Whatever happens on these pages is what's meant to happen. I'm not judging myself or my writing. I'm just writing. I have everything I need to begin already inside of me. I'm settling in and I'm ready to write. Okay, so April 15th, 2021, halfway through NaPoWriMo with a wonderful poem by Diane Suess. Let's meet somewhere outside time and space, which is sort of what we're doing right here, right? Okay, so first let's start with a free write. And as I am writing, we're still in a pandemic, as I'm recording, I mean. So think about if you could go anywhere right now, if you could travel to any place, where would you go and why? Or what are some of the favorite places you've been? And or just imagine you could teleport around space and time. So forward in time, backward in time, across space. Just see what comes up for you in a free write if you were to travel in your imagination to any kinds of different places. Again, this is just a warm up, getting us moving our hand across the page. So if you want to put 5 minutes on that or such, come on back for the next step. Okay, step 2, very, very, very quick. Make a list of 5 or more if you're feeling good categories of things. So we all know what a thing is. A thing is a something you can touch or experience, and a category, like, for example, music, toys, celebrities. It could be anything. You could have places as a specific category, animals, instruments, careers, sacred things. The list is literally endless. Choose some categories for you. If you're feeling a little brain stumped, you can just use some of the categories I've listed. Up to you. Quick, just a few, and then meet me back. All right, from that list of categories you have created, now for each category, just first thought, best thought, write down any things. So these things can be names of people, places, whatever, objects you can feel and touch, nouns, verbs, so images, something you can smell, taste, experience in some way with your senses, whatever comes to mind. For example, if my category is music, this took me 10 seconds to write down: keyboard, third eye blind, dog songs, black keys, whatever's in your subconscious awareness. We're just calling that out onto the page, getting some images or starting points for our poem, and then meet me back. All right, so putting it all together, thinking about the line, let's meet somewhere outside time and space. I might have missed a word there, but that idea doesn't have to be that exact articulation. You can articulate whatever way you want, or not even include the phrase. So always adapt this prompt to whatever you want to do. But the idea for you today is to imagine your poem is outside time and space, and pick and choose some things and some places from your list and your free write to make sort of a list poem, a surrealist list poem, and pop those images and places in any order in the poem you'd like. So let's meet outside time and space, where the keyboard in Antarctica is jumping around on the dance floor. I don't know, whatever. So you can allow your mind to just have fun, free associating. And this is a type of prompt where, like, really follow your poetic sense of how your images want to come together, what kind of bizarre, surreal, or strange moments you would have fun creating. And then as you're piecing the poem together, consider how Diane Suess used prepositions and adverbs to link these different places and moments and things together. So words like under and between, before or when. So just really have fun jumbling up your sense of place and time, and let your poem travel wherever it wants to go. So working on extremely specific details, as we saw in the poem, feel free to use names and locations and absolutely specific words. The more specific, the more interesting, I think, sometimes. So one final consideration: if this poem is written like let's meet outside time and space, you might want to consider who you're speaking to, because it's a directive. Are you speaking to someone in particular in your mind that you'd like to write to? Are you speaking to the general audience of the reader? Are you speaking to yourself? It's not necessarily that important, but if you want to consider it, if that helps you maybe, write your poem in a way that's interesting to you, that's something to think about. So I want to just invite you to have fun with that. Again, continuing this surrealist, imagistic exploration of images in the mind as you write your poem. So have fun with that. And then I just have a brief moment on Diane Suess, the briefest today, if you want to come back, but have fun. Okay, well, I first encountered this poem, I believe, if my memory serves, in the book The Art of Voice by Tony Hoagland. I believe that's where I saw it. And I will admit this poem really excited me because I am one of those people who I feel like just lives outside time and space in my mind every day. And my personal work is to actually ground myself into my physical reality in the third dimension. But I love, love, love the permission that Diane Suess in this poem gives to just step outside of your everyday, normal, physical reality and let your imagination free associate and play. And I love the way that at the end of this poem, she has a little meta moment of like outside the jurisdiction of the sentence. How interesting is that? So that makes me think about how language really is a technology and a tool that creates a sense of reality. The jurisdiction of the sentence is something that I have in my mind, like imprinted to be thinking about. What is the jurisdiction of the sentence? And what is poetry in relationship to the jurisdiction of the sentence? And ending on this image in the poem of lilacs, how language and poetry in particular can uh, give us a sense of a real physical thing that we can touch, taste, smell, etc. But it's still within the jurisdiction of the sentence. So poetry, I think of Mary Oliver's idea of poetry as a mystical document where language can be a tool to access, let's just say, other dimensions of perception and of reality through the familiar of the images that we encounter every day. Like yesterday, thinking about Gerald Stern, who defamiliarizes the familiar. I feel like maybe surrealist sort of poetry does that. And to me, that's very exciting. But anyway, I will admit I have not read a whole lot of Diane Seuss. This is one of those poems that came to me and it just clicked and it just resonated and it opened something up for me, and I'm very grateful for that. Does anyone ever feel like there's just so much that you have not read and would like to? Anyway, not to overwhelm ourselves, but Diane Seuss is a poet just through this one poem where I am looking at the books she has published online. She has 4 books of poetry. One of them, the most recent one, is called Still Life with 2 Dead Peacocks and a Girl. What a great title. Like, I would buy that book just based off of the title and knowing this poem. Anyway, I don't know much about Diane Seuss. I'm sure I could read some interviews, but I have not done that today. So I'm just going to be honest. I know from reading online these sources, Diane Seuss was born in Michigan City, Indiana in 1956, went to Kalamazoo College and Western Michigan University. So she has a degree in social work. I find that interesting. I love learning about poets' other lives, if you will. Like, we all have so many different roles that we play in society in our lives. So let's see. I also think about Mary Oliver and what Mary Oliver said about, well, she would like her work to speak for itself. Um, I don't feel like I need to know a whole lot about Seuss as a person, though I would enjoy learning more. But like just having the work speak for itself from the poem that we just saw, I think is really wonderful when we think about how our poems exist in the world as separate objects from ourselves. Um, and the idea of, the poet has a private life, and we all, as writers, artists who are performing and publishing in public, we all get to choose what we make public and what we keep private. So I'm just thinking about that. I'm respecting not knowing a whole lot about this poet and still really, really loving this poem. And for me personally, this practice of recording these videos and prompts every day has been to prompt me to learn more about the poets who have produced the works that live inside my body. Again, these are 30 poems that have changed me. So I am just sharing my thoughts on those things. And so, like I said, that's really all for today. Congratulations again on making it to halfway through the month of April if you're playing in real time. And if you're just joining in, I welcome you to check on any of the prompts I've produced so far. There's 15 now on YouTube. A lot of these, by the way, I'll say some of them have been taken from previous classes I've taught. So you might recognize some of them, but this type of poem and the prompts that I'm giving during this YouTube series, actually, I know can be reused and written to on any given day. Because remember that we show up to the page every day in that particular way for that particular day. And with this type of prompt, you really could do it every single day if you wanted, with new ideas, new things, new images. Let's meet outside time and space. Where do you want to go today? Where do you want to go tomorrow? So this is the type of thing that maybe, hopefully, is imprinting itself upon your poetic mind and giving you the freedom to explore all sorts of different images and get them on the page. So thanks for joining. By the way, thank you to my patrons on Patreon for supporting this work. I am so grateful for you. I've had a Patreon for a few years now. Some of you have been with me for a very long time, and some of you have been with me at any point. I'm so grateful. And if anyone would like to support this work, I am a working poet and a working artist. Patreon really does help me support myself and give me the freedom to be an artist with less financial pressure in my life, to create the sorts of videos here that I hope you are enjoying. My mission is to simply spread the joy and necessity of creativity through language everywhere, one line at a time. That's the mission here of Surprise the Line. Again, I'm the founder, Nancy Lene Wu, in case you are tuning in. Here's my little sign off. All right. I'm done with the video. Have a good day, everyone. Enjoy.